Industry in Moab is thriving now more than ever. The stunning views attract not only movie-loving tourists, but A-list film industry icons, like my next guest, Academy Award winner Kevin Costner. It is an honor to have the chance to meet you and speak with you, Kevin. Will you start by introducing us and our viewers to Horizon and why this was a story that needed to be told over multiple parts?
Well, it's I've always been attracted to our history, and I've made a variety of movies in my life, different genres, if you will, comedies, political thrillers. But I always get drawn back into the West. It's the same way with my baseball movies. I've done 3 of them. I make all kinds of movies, but once in a while I see a baseball movie that breaks new ground. And it's the same way for Westerns, especially for me, because I feel so connected to it. I feel like all of us are connected to it. And when I see something in it that has a chance to maybe give us a window into what our ancestors were going through, and it wraps itself in entertainment, it wraps itself in drama, in realistic situations. And I think if it answers all those questions, then I'm very drawn to it. And Horizon became that, and it looked a lot like a normal Western. 2 guys, the original one in 1988, and they come into a town that's already there. I started to rethink that when I was unable to make it, and started to think about how was our West really formed. And it was people coming to a land that was already occupied by Native Americans who were getting along just fine, thank you. Not that they didn't have any real problems, but they had found an equilibrium, let's say. And now we come in, and if Horizon 1 starts with a big stake going in the ground and an anthole that really disturbs them, it's almost a metaphor for what we did to these people. And yet we never deal with the idea that there was this first contact, and it was usually ugly. And we were displacing them from a place that they were comfortable, that they knew how to live. They knew how much to take. And that got disrupted. And I was taken with the idea, even as we kept writing on it, this is what we need to be doing, is talking that this struggle happened 1 million times in this country. It happened 100,000 times. St. Louis, Phoenix, St. George, Kanab. Any town you want to think in Colorado, there was drama over it. It was contested. It was a life and death struggle, and we just had to have it as a people. And so I'm interested in that story, because most people coming west weren't there to disrupt lives. They were just there to pursue a dream. It inadvertently happened. So
that was the next question I was going to ask you about, the Indigenous storyline and the importance of the representation. But you just described that so powerfully. Will you also speak on the strong female characters you created, not typically seen when you think about a Western?
Yeah, it's not. And going in, I knew that they would be in it in a healthy way. I didn't know that they would be in it in a dominant way, the way they are. All my storylines, I have 5 or 6 going on, women are running right down the middle of them. There's only one area where they're not, and they're very destructive people. But they are dominant. And I'm in the movie, and I love my women, and the way they play, the strength that they brought, how vulnerable they were. How strong they were to raise families, come to a place where they wasn't even necessarily their idea. And that happened to all your sisters, all your ancestors. That's what they went through. And the things they did to just keep themselves clean, let alone safe, are worth talking about.
It's emotional to think about and very moving to hear the way you describe it. Horizon is so grounded. I got to take a trip to Moab and tour some of the set and learn about the immersive world that you created there. Why was Utah and Moab the perfect spot for this story to be told?
It was perfect. Utah has been perfect for me. But Moab, the world comes to see Moab. It's no surprise, this mighty river that cuts right through the middle of it, and formations that only God could have created. What we look at there is awe-inspiring. And I liked, I just liked the feel of it. Every time I would go through that country when I was little, I was terribly impressed with the Searchers. I didn't like the Westerns that were created here out of Hollywood. They all look the same. And there's something about, I mean, Dances with Wolves, I took to the Great Plains of South Dakota. These wide open spaces are what I needed to tell my story. And in Utah, you can get them. In Moab, they are stunning. And the sunrises and sunsets, and it's